everyone, and welcome to our second webinar where we are focusing entirely on our consumable range. We've decided to give these sessions a really cool, funky name, so welcome to Laser Material Lessons. And today we'll be focusing on working with wood. My name is Lauren van Rooyen, and I will be your host for today. So after our previous session where we discussed the laser materials, where we chatted about Trolets and the acrylics, we sent out a survey to some of the attendees and asked you what materials you would like us to focus on in our next session, and also what questions you have regarding the materials. So that's what we're going to dive into today, is working specifically with wood, and we're going to jump straight into our most popular topic, which is the different types of wood materials that we here at Trotec offer. So we're going to bring up a PowerPoint presentation on the screen so that we can go through some of those with you. Cool. So the first one is our Trotec solid wood. So this material is available in a sheet size of 600 mils by 300 mils, and it is 5 millimeters thick. This material is consistent throughout the sheet size, so it's the same material throughout. There's no layers to it. It's just one piece of wood. This also allows for really nice deep engraving into the product. It has a varnished surface and is available in 5 different colors, ranging from maple, which is the lightest, all the way through to walnut, which is the darkest. Cool. Next up is our veneer wood. So the veneer wood has the same sheet size as the solid wood, which is 600 by 300, and is available in a 3 millimeter thickness. So the veneer wood consists of 2 thin layers of real wood on either side of an MDF core. Those real wood layers are approximately 0.5 mils thick, and this product also comes with a varnished surface and is available in 7 different beautiful colors as well. Right, next one is one of our most popular ones, which is our MDF. Sheet size of this is quite a bit bigger than our solid woods and veneers. It is 1220 millimeters by 600, and we have 2 different thicknesses in this material, which is a 6 millimeter and a 3 millimeter. This consists out of compacted fiber board and also has a really nice homogeneous fiber structure, which means that the surface of the material is smooth. There's no surface irregularities or any lumps or bumps or divots in it. It's completely smooth, which is fantastic for laser engraving. It also has a good load carrying capability, which is ideal for projects like bookshelves and things like that. And there is 1 standard color in this material. Cool, onto our last wood product, which is the Trotec Plywood, which is one of my favorites actually. The sheet sizes for this is also 600 by 300 mils, and we also have 2 thicknesses in this material. Once again, a 6 millimeter and a 3 millimeter thickness. So this is made out of softwood, and a fun fact about softwood is that that is sourced from trees that are evergreen. So they're able to source from those trees throughout the year, which makes it so cost effective for us as well. It is also denser than hardwoods, yet lightweight, and the light colors lend itself to laser marking and engraving. And this is also available in 1 standard color. Cool. So now that we've gone through those, a lot of the questions that we get also revolve around which material to use for which of your products. It's very easy to go through the materials, but when it comes down to using them, that's a different ballgame. So we're going to go through them again for you. So the solid wood, because it is 1 material throughout, is a great material for any deep type of engraving, which gives a really nice sunken in bold effect. So over here, I've got a sheet of our walnut solid wood, which is 5 millimeters thick, and we've engraved it. Whoopsie, sorry, went over the mic there. We've engraved it over here with a really nice effect, and you can see it has a beautiful natural effect, almost like hand carved, that type of vibe. And it also has a varnished finish, which obviously means minimal cleanup time. So that is the effect that you will get from a solid wood, is a nice deep, thorough engraving on there. But also advise that when you're working with products like a solid wood, because it is slightly more expensive, that type of wood is used for more personalized, once-off projects as opposed to mass production. Cool. Then if we look at our MDFs and our plywoods and also the veneers, these are all really fantastic for fine laser engraving as well as cutting. So I've got a small little example over here. This is our veneer wood that we've cut and engraved into, and you can see the awesome finishes that you can get from our different types of wood. We're going to show you some more of them later, but this is just a really cool example that you can take a look at. Cool. MDF. So obviously that is a cheaper type of wood, and the high fiber density also allows for really nice engraving as well as cutting. And like we mentioned before, it's awesome for load-bearing projects too. The plywood, because it's a lightweight wood, is ideal for model making as well. So that's a really nice product if you're in the architectural side, or if you're into toy making or model making, that type of thing. But it also engraves really beautifully as well. And due to the composition of the material and the lightness from it, it actually engraves and cuts much quicker than any type of wood. So this material is great for projects that have a lot of pieces and that you also need to get done in a fast amount of time. Cool. So we're going to jump into the frequently asked questions that we get as well, some of them that you guys submitted to us. And this is one that we get all the time is, can I use an MDF from a hardware store or from a craft store, an art shop, something like that? The straight answer is yes, of course you can. But there's always a but. When it comes to MDFs from other places that do not have laser processing in mind when they manufacture it, it does have disadvantages. So the bonding agents that are used with MDFs that are used for other projects such as hardware, those bonding agents are not suitable for laser processing. So it often leaves really harsh residues and stuff like that on your material. We've even seen some MDF that's gone orange when it's busy engraving, and it also gives you inconsistent results due to the processing that they use when they manufacture it. Cool. Next question that we get is, how do I avoid burn marks when laser engraving wood? So this is one of Peter's favorite questions. By the way, he is here busy manning the question section. So if you have any more questions during the webinar, please feel free to pop them in the chat section and he will answer them for you gladly. But yes, back to how to avoid burn marks on your wood when busy working with a laser. So first off, those are not burn marks that you see on your products. That is simply smoke residue. So there's a few different ways that you can use, or a few different methods that you can use to remove those afterwards. One is obviously if you're using a product that is varnished, you can take a slightly damp cloth and just wipe it away very easily. Another method that you can use is one like this over here. So this is our MDF 3mm veneer. Veneer. And this we have engraved just as is, popped it in the machine, did our engraving job, and took it out. Nothing has been done to it. As you can see, there is a slight bit of residue. There will still always be residue even when you use our products, but it is less than what you'll find with others. So what we did is we took the exact same artwork, the exact same material, and we popped over some masking tape. So this is just normal painter's masking tape, and you apply it straight over the area that you're wanting to engrave. Literally just stick it on the wood, and what you're going to do is engrave straight over that. So we're going to take off this piece of tape now, and you will see that there is literally no residue from that engraving job. So quite a nice little trick if you're looking to speed up time and things like that, is to use a masking tape. And there's literally, the only cleanup time is obviously to remove your masking tape afterwards. So exact same product, literally just with a layer of masking tape on top of it. Cool. So by covering it like that, you can obviously reduce the residue. But guys, remember when you're working with tapes of any kind that and especially ones with wood that have a bit of a surface coating sometimes, is that you're looking for a tape that has a low tack. You're also looking for a tape that does not contain PVC at all. PVC and lasers do not mix. It is a bad idea. You should avoid it as much as possible. It is toxic for you to breathe in those fumes. You could possibly even pass away from it. And it also corrodes your laser. So just all in all, avoid PVC, please. Cool. The next question that we get is, how can I achieve very light or very dark engraving? So over here is an awesome example. This is a wooden photo frame that was sold by Trotec. So this wood is also manufactured specifically for laser processing. And we've engraved it to get a white result. And over here, we engraved it to get a dark result. And over there, another white result. So we're going to show you a very cool trick today in the job control software where we will, oops, it's falling for me. How you can achieve a grayscale matrix on your wood using the job control software. Cool. So you're probably busy going, what the heck is a grayscale matrix? So a grayscale matrix is a test that you can create for yourself where it shows you different deepnesses or different colors of engraving and the settings that you can use to achieve those colors of engraving. Cool. So we're going to give it a bash in the webinar today. So I have got an offcut of some bamboo veneer. This is our 3 mil veneer that we've got. Just going to pop it in the laser. Always close the lid. And we're going to switch over to the screen over here that I'm working on. Cool. So this is our grayscale matrix. I'm currently working in CorelDRAW 2019. So the measurements that you see at the top here is the settings for your laser power. The measurements that you see on the left-hand side over here are your adjustments. So these are 100 different shades of gray. To achieve a specific gray that you're looking for, let's say you're looking for this one, you will put your laser onto 50% power and add 6. So 56% power. Simple as that. So what I'm going to do is select the job over here. I'm going to press File and Print. Cool. And this is also just going to show you how quick and easy it is to use our lasers and how quickly it gets the job done. So we're going to go into Settings. I'm going to go through them. So everything looks good here. I've got it on wood, which is what I want. Then we're going to make sure the processing option is on relief. So relief engraving is a 2.5D or a 3D engraving that is done on the surface of the material, and it varies the engraving to give it sort of like depth of field on the actual surface. So it's quite a cool application that is used with our engraving. This option comes standard with the job control software and with our Trotec laser machines as well. Cool. So back to the settings. My resolution is on 500 dpi, which is what I want it on. So that's perfect. I'm now going to hit OK or the job control icon. I'm then going to hit Print. It's going to ask me to save my job. So I'm just going to call it Lauren's Grayscale Matrix. We hit Apply. I'm now going to switch over to job control. And there my job is waiting for me, ready to go. So I'm going to click and drag this onto job control into the pointer section. And we're literally just going to hit play. Cool. So while that is busy engraving, we'll show you the results when it's finished. It's really awesome. Another tip that you can use to achieve really nice dark engraving is an offset method. So I'm going to show you what that is. Cool. So over here is a piece of MDF. This is one of our MDF sheets, 3 mil thickness. We've just done a normal engraving job onto it. And you can see it's got a nice brown color. Looks pretty cool. But say now you wanted the engraving to be a little bit darker. You wanted a really bold, contrasting effect. So what you would do is take the exact same artwork, lens, everything like that. The only thing that you would change is your Z offset. So you would take it slightly out of focus between about 3 to 5 millimeters. and that will give you an effect like this. So if we compare the two, you can see that this one over here that has gone out of focus is quite a bit darker than this one over here. And that is done, my job is finished already. So this one over here is done slightly more out of focus, and it gives you a really neat, nice, deep, dark engraving. But remember that when you are doing or using this method, you obviously can't do very fine engravings because you've now taken it out of focus. So just something to keep in mind when you're busy playing around with different engraving settings. Awesome, let's take a look at the Grayscale matrix. Cool, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm just going to zoom in for you now so that you can see all the little details and everything. All right, so that is our Grayscale matrix. So we've got everything from the lightest color that we can get with engraving all the way to the darkest colors through over there. And this you can literally keep as a reference by your machine and tell yourself, okay, I want a project today with an engraving that is white. So you just refer to this little Grayscale matrix that you set up, put in those settings, and Bob's your uncle. As simple as that. So that's quite a cool tip. If you guys would like the artwork for that, you want to test it out on your lasers, just pop us an email and we will gladly send it to you. It's free of charge. We will gladly share the information with you at any point. Awesome. So that you can do as well to achieve very light and dark engraving. So we've done the Grayscale method and we've also done the offset method or the out of focus method as well. Cool. So the last question that we get asked a lot about is, why are our wood products so expensive? To put it very bluntly, you get what you pay for. A high quality product gives you a high quality engraving, and a high quality product sometimes comes with a slightly more expensive price. So here's an example. This is some locally sourced veneer MDF that we have, different colors, all the same thickness. And as you can see, the results are not really ideal. Just going to move that one up a little bit. So, like I said, this is a locally sourced material. The engraving is not ideal. Why? So basically, it is not consistent. There is not enough contrast. And also, it just obviously doesn't have a varnish to it as well. So the cleanup time afterwards is going to be quite a bit as well. So this, as opposed to something like this, it's just going to zoom in again for you. It's tilted a bit so you can see it, which way is better. Is that better? There we go. So slightly cost-effective product. Our 3mm veneer, the exact same type of product that you would look to purchase, but the difference is quite noticeable. Awesome. So something like that is obviously something you should take into consideration. Another reason why our wood products are slightly more expensive is because they are made specifically for laser processing. So it's not a quick everyday process that they just do to put some wood on a table somewhere. It's done really, really intently. So for example, the solid wood that we had a look at earlier, solid wood is something that you can buy pretty much at any hardware store as well. But the difference is that our solid wood has been dried out in a very specific manner. Other solid woods have quite a high moisture content, and moisture and lasers do not go together well at all. So what happens is that when you start engraving this wood that has a higher moisture content, it starts to create charring, or what some people call soot, or even in Afrikaans, some people call it roet. And the root or the soot or the charring then actually obstructs the way of your laser being able to cut through and engrave your product. So you'll have horribly messy results. You might not even be able to cut through materials that you could normally cut through, all because of the moisture content of a material that wasn't dried out properly. So you end up wasting your time, wasting some material. You're going to have to go buy more products, so probably get in your car and get more petrol put in and things like that as well. So all these little elements add up at the end of the day. Our wood sheet sizes are also specifically cut to that size, or sold in that size rather, to make sure that it ensures less wastage for you as well, which also saves you money. And also the last point is that our products, as we mentioned a few times, are varnished as well. So that saves you time in terms of post-production and cleaning up too. So like we said, all these points just add up as to why it's a superior product and why you should look at investing in higher quality materials for your jobs. Basically, the point that we're trying to reinforce with all of this is that if you are going to do a wood project, look at using wood that has been manufactured specifically for laser processing. Cool. We're also going to just have a look at some of the other products that we have too. So some product ideas, because we know you love those. This is one of Peter's favorite projects that he did when he started working here, actually, believe it or not, is a really cool 3D skull. This was not 3D printed, believe it or not. It is literally just from multiple sheets of 3mm MDF that has been stuck on top of each other and given this awesome, awesome effect. So something to think about, something to maybe play around with in your own time. This is Jeffrey, our little laser rhino, or not a rhino, sorry, a dinosaur. So this is also a great example for some puzzles that you could maybe build, or model toys, things like that that you can make out of wood. And if you get the right wood, obviously your cutting lines and stuff like that also have a beautiful finish to them as well. Also remember that you can layer your products on top of each other. So if you're wanting to create a visual effect or some moving parts, something like this, a little key holder, or showing if you're in and out of office, you can do something like that as well. Or even just creating little novelty items for Father's Day or gift ideas, things like that. Awesome. Cool, guys. So that brings us to the end of our webinar today. Thank you so much again for joining. For those of you that are new, we hope you enjoyed it. For those of you that aren't new, we also hope that you enjoyed it. And as we mentioned in the email that we sent out to you guys, there will be a voucher for those of you who watched the webinar today. So if you could please respond to the email where you got the invite and just say you attended or you want to pop us your email address, we will then gladly send you a voucher specifically for the web products on our online store. So you will get a discount voucher to purchase those wood products from the online shop. Awesome. If you guys have any other questions, please feel free to pop them in the comment section. We will get to them after the webinar is ended and possibly even email you. Thanks again for attending, guys. See you next time.